Good evening and welcome to Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. For more news updates, you can follow us on all social media handles at CSTVGH. Cstv News at 24 is brought to you by Rema Ocean Agency, Celeste Sweet Tom Brown, Sarah's Dream Jewelry, NAP Apartment Hotel, and KS Raffin Mix Company Limited. My name is Dr. Spencer. And I'm coming up in our news bulletin for tonight. Now confirmed dead as illegal mining pit collapse in the Afro region. Also coming your way, Tema Oil Refinery resumes operations, says President John Dramani Mahama. And moving on to the international front also, Nepal rivals rally on final day poll campaign as Prime Minister urges citizens to vote. These and other stories will come your way in tonight's news bulletin on CSTV. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and now to our first story for tonight. 9 illegal miners have died following the collapse of a mining pit at the Ataniata, a community in the Cstv South District of the Afro region. Hospital authorities have clarified that one body earlier counted among the deceased was unrelated to the cave-in, bringing the confirmed fatalities down to 9. 4 injured miners are currently on administration at the St. Elizabeth Catholic Hospital, Shediem, where they are responding to treatment. An undisclosed number of miners are still believed to have been at the site at the time of the collapse. Rescue efforts and assessment are ongoing as authorities work to establish the full scope of the incident and the cause of the cave-in. Private legal practitioner Victoria Bright says the country has risen from economic crisis to stability, citing improvement in key macroeconomic indicators following the president's recent State of the Nation address. She therefore described the government's first year in office as one anchored in macroeconomic consolidation and the restoration of investor confidence.
I think my view is more or less the same as everyone's view. You know, the president presented us with a stabilization narrative. And we can't deny that. I mean, our currency is stronger. We have lower debt ratios, higher reserves, lower inflation.
Correct.
You know, the gold exports have been institutionalized under the gold board. And the cocoa sector reforms will be presented. So I think we'll hold our horses a little bit on that to see how that's meant to be operationalized. So what we are all hoping and praying for is that the reforms don't just end up being fiscal corrections following the extreme difficulties that we found ourselves in not too long ago. But they operate in such a way that in the long term they prevent a relapse, because that has been a trajectory. We do well and then we go back, you know, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. So we don't want that. So we're all hoping and praying that this time it stays, you know, it stays. So yes, the government's macroeconomic recovery, I think, is very commendable. But unless these fiscal discipline, export diversification, energy reforms, and enforcement independence are locked into our systems, they have to be locked into our systems, then the recovery risks become what I said. They become cyclical rather than permanent. They don't be.
And now moving on to other story, President John Dramani Mahama Speaking at the opening of the 2026 Judicial Year opening and the 20th anniversary of the African Court on Human Rights and People's Rights in Arusha, he cautioned of weakening judicial independence and rising executive interference worldwide. He highlighted declining democratic institutions, restrictions on free speech and protest, the result erosion of public trust in governance.
By the time the World Health Organization announced the discovery of a new virus in Wuhan, China, that virus was already on an aeroplane to Johannesburg. It was already present in Accra on the roadside as individuals waited for a trotro at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, or seated towards the rear of a daladala en route to Ngaramtoni. If you look beyond Africa, what you find is that that facade of the so-called global north, a group of countries that have long held themselves up as beacons of democracy and human rights, of liberty, justice, and the rule of law, is fast crumbling. Judiciaries are no longer independent. Citizens and lawful residents are being disappeared by mass law enforcement and then placed without due process indefinitely in detention centers. We see executive overreach and a steady weakening of legislative independence. We see violations of international law. Restrictions are being placed on freedom of speech, assembly, and protest. There's a general loss of liberties and a sharp decline in public trust in governments. Mwalimu Julius K. Nyerere famously said, "One does not judge one's state of health by comparing yourself to a sick person." Too long we compared ourselves to the West and used what we believe were their standards as our benchmarks for all our endeavors. The reality we see today should serve as a clear call to action.
And now let's move on to the Ashanti region. Residents of the Sokoban news site has protested against the deplorable state of their road, citing rising respiratory diseases due to dust. The protest highlighted the need for improved road infrastructure and maintenance. Leaders in the community have called on local authorities to act swiftly to prevent further health hazard. Kwejo Boaten, the assembly member of Sokoban, Daban, Wood Village,
regional minister, road minister, any say how be a Mississippi market center. I mean, Kumasi and
Meanwhile, residents in the area has lamented how bad the roads are affecting their businesses.
The rights and quarters, we are pleading to the government, to the president, to the ministers, to everybody who has a hand in making sure that they come and construct this road, to come as soon as possible. Last year I said I was even not going to vote because I can't be paying tax and then I live on such a bad road. Let me leave this phone here for just a few seconds. The dust it will accumulate. You have no idea. So ask yourself, how much dust are we inhaling? So please, we are pleading that they should come to our aid. They should come to Sokoban News site and come and help us. We are also citizens of Ghana. We pay taxes. We are entitled to some of these better ways. Once they do this road, the whole place will become like a busy industrial area.
We are begging the government, say he should come to our aid. We are suffering here, Sokoban News site. And this area is within the Kumasi the city. We are under TMA. So it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't work for us.
And now let's move away from the Ashanti region to the Ahafo region. Promoting infrastructure accountability, local government minister conduct an official inspection of development projects in the region. The Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, highlighted the reasons for the inspection.
The essence of the tour is to make sure that we visit at least 1 or 2 or 3 randomly metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in Ghana to assess and evaluate how best the money that has been sent to them into judicious use. They together have been supporting Ghana's decentralization program for a long period. So the essence of this mission is to just come and do monitoring visit, assess how they are using the money, and to my sisters from Switzerland and Germany, clearly they are impressed. So I will therefore use this opportunity to thank the regional minister, the MMDCs in the Ahafo region, the members of parliament who are ex-officio members of the Ahafo region, that you've discharged your duties.
And during the inspections, representatives for the economic affairs thanked key stakeholders for ensuring value for money.
As it's really key actually to observe impact on the ground, to see how service delivery improves in the regions, to visit several districts, to see what kind of projects have been financed by the District Assembly Common Fund, Responsive Factor Grant, where we added some money to it. And we were really highly impressed on what we saw in today. There was a commitment by the whole community, be it the chiefs, the thought leaders, but also the teachers, the children, on creating a really nice infrastructure, but then also using it and making it work. And so we saw schools, we saw a chip compound, and we must say it was a great day to see that actually decentralization is working here.
You are watching CSTV News at 24 on CSTV. The news continues after the commercial break.
Company Limited. So we pay blocks machines here a papa. None of bonds so assign a da from a dear. And ye, not a Nwani Amsal Company Limited. Ye were conveyor blocks machines, hydraulic blocks machines, pallets, any blocks machines in one such using in and nothing so. Blocks machines are who draw opening in a being so ever ho. To show ye quite in a year. Ye was Spinters Road 18 Junction. Ye need KFC Dino and a dish anymore. Frey, it was 05,240 and I say 0540-725850. Amstel blocks machines in Papa Pa Efie.
You are come back from the commercial break. Now let's move on to business stories. President John Dramani Mahama has announced that the Tema Oil Refinery has resumed operations after years of inactivity. The president revealed that the refinery is again processing crude oil into petroleum products following extensive maintenance works.
I'm also pleased to announce to you that Tema Oil Refinery is back. The new management of the refinery has successfully completed extensive turnaround maintenance. I'm pleased to inform you that this August House that for the first time since 2018, the refinery has commenced processing of crude oil into petroleum products again. Speaker, let me assure our countrymen and women that the energy sector reforms continue unabated. I remain fully committed to turning around the sector, strengthening its foundations, and ensuring reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy security for our nation.
President John Dramani Mahama has disclosed that the country is now ranked among the top 10 African countries following improved economic conditions and renewed investor confidence. Speaking during the 2026 SODA, the president noted that the ranking reflects sustained efforts to stabilize the economy.
Mr. Speaker, our economy has grown significantly. In 2025, Ghana's GDP is expected to reach $113 billion, an increase from $83 billion at the end of 2024. This has placed Ghana among the top 10 largest economies in Africa. Mr. Speaker, average GDP growth for the first 3 quarters of 2025 is reported at 6.1%. But growth means nothing without discipline. Our primary surplus reached 2.6% of GDP, far exceeding our target of 1.5%. Mr. Speaker, we closed our fiscal deficit at 3.1%, well below the projected 3.8%. Mr. Speaker, this is not prudent governance. It is promise-keeping, and it has benefited households and businesses because we have borrowed less and spent more responsibly. Interest rates have fallen, confidence has returned, private businesses are breathing again.
Away from business news to the international front, Nepal's rival parties makes a last push on the final day of Nepal's election campaign. Interim Prime Minister has appealed to people to vote and maintain peace. The Himalayan Republic will elect a new parliament on Thursday, replacing the interim government that has led the country of 30 million people since September 2025 uprising, in which at least 77 people were killed. Sports update will be coming your way after the commercial break. Stay tuned.
The manager of Crystal Jurek Pet Shop. Here, we have varieties of pet foods and accessories. When it comes to dog foods and cat foods, we have everything. We have the 25 kg pellets, the 20 kgs, the 10 kgs. We have Happy Home, High Performance, Dog Chew, Jack Pet Food, GC Puppy and Adults, High Retrieval, Happy Canine. When it comes to the leashes or the collars, we have everything, whether small, medium or large. We have their supplements, their vitamins, fish oils, medicated soaps, and their tablets. We also have the flea and tick sprays, their refreshers. And when it comes to their bowls, we have different types of bowls. Stainless or plastic bowls, medium, large. We have their traveling bags, their bathing tubs, their towels, and all their chains as well. We also do breeding of dogs and cats. Whether you are looking for poodles, puppies, any mixed breed, we have them. Foreign cats too are available. When it comes to their treats, we have the big bones, we have their biscuits, we have their snacks. We have our locations. One is located at East Legon American House, adjacent KB Clay, near Intifo Avenue Street. We also have a branch at Blue Lagoon, Sacramento, opposite the Ghana Poultry Farmers Association, General Anchor Street. You can contact us on 0243 03 2066 or 020 473-8175. At Crystal Jewelry, we will always want your pets to smile.
Welcome back to Cstv News at 24 on Cstv. Moving on to sports update for tonight. Gary Neville backs Arsenal to win Premier League title ahead of chasers Manchester City, but says Ghana are in for 10 weeks of pain in final weeks of season. Neville says Mikel Arteta's biggest challenge will be fighting on four fronts, with clubs still on course for potential quadruple.
I mean, I think from where they were, Dave, a week last Wednesday after the Wolves game, I know Mikel Arteta before the game said that it doesn't matter when the other team that you're challenging for the title plays first, but it really does. I mean, City having to sort of get their points on the board on a Saturday and then Arsenal have to follow them on a Sunday does add that pressure for Arsenal. And I think it's been a really good week for them in two games that are quite difficult. The North London derby, obviously Tottenham aren't playing well, but they still have to go there and do a job under pressure after the Wolves game. And then today was a real struggle for them. Not playing well in terms of open play and the fluidity, but getting over the line, and I think that's really important. With all the competitions that Arsenal are in, you're not going to play well every single week, but they had to win 3 points, they had to get over the line and win the game, and they've done that, and I think that counts for a lot. Their quality, their physical strength, the experience of the last 3 years of losing it, I mean, they surely have to sort of look upon what's happened in the last 3 years. They know this is going to be hard work. They've got 10 more weeks of pain, these Arsenal fans, watching in the crowd, watching at home sometimes when they're away from home. This is not easy. This is not going to be pleasant at times. It's going to be anxious, but they've got to enjoy the thrill of it. That's why they're here. We always, every single time we come to Arsenal, and we've done this for a number of years, and Patrick obviously played in the last title-winning team, we go over to that 2004 year that's over there halfway up across that stand and say they haven't won the league for 22 years, and they've got to try and get rid of that. And in the last 3 years, they've been up against, obviously, City and Liverpool, and it's been obviously tough for them, and they've lost out in those battles. And call upon the experiences that they've had.
Sorry for the interruption. Still in sports news, President Mahama has appealed to Ghanaian supporters planning to travel to North America for the 2026 World Cup to respect immigration regulations and return home after the tournament. He warned that irresponsible travel conduct would jeopardize the country's renewed visa privileges.
This year, we will strengthen Ghana's standing in the major global and continental sporting events. We will make our 5th FIFA World Cup appearance. And for us, this is an opportunity to boost national branding and the economy beyond just sports. Mr. Speaker, supporters and other people interested in going to support the team would have to submit visa requests to the American Embassy. We are being told that we must ensure that supporters who go return on the visas. It has taken a lot of work to restore Ghana's 5-year non-immigrant visas and take us off the ban list. It is my hope that this event will not send thousands of Ghanaians to America and get us back on the ban list.
The Ghana Boxing Federation has officially unveiled a new logo in a ceremony at the media center of the Accra Sports Stadium. The colorful event brought together key stakeholders in Ghana's sporting fraternity, including the Director General of the National Sports Authority.
That I welcome you all to this wonderful occasion of the being the press conference to officially unveil our new logo of the Ghana Boxing Federation. Today marks a significant milestone in the history of Ghanaian boxing. A logo is more than just a symbol. It represents identity, it represents vision, and it represents values and direction as well. It tells a story. The story of who we are, where we have come from. For decades, Ghana has been a proud boxing nation, producing remarkable talent and unforgettable moments on both continents. As the sport continues to evolve, it has become necessary for our federation's image to reflect a modern, dynamic, and forward-looking organization. It realizes renewal, strength, unity, and excellence. It reflects our commitment to professionalism, transparency, youth development, and international competitiveness. It embodies the fighting spirits of Ghanaian boxer. Discipline, resilience. Unveiling of this logo is not merely a cosmetic change. It signals a new chapter, a renewed focus on grassroots development, improved governance, strategic partnership, and preparation of our athletes for major international competitions. We believe this new identity will inspire our athletes, energize our stakeholders, and strengthen our brand, both locally and internationally. It aligns with our broader vision of repositioning Ghanaian boxing to reclaim its rightful place among the world's elite boxing nations. To our media partners, we thank you for your continued support and promoting boxing in Ghana.
And now moving on to entertainment news. Renowned Ghanaian broadcast journalist Luther King Kwame Edinkra has criticized rapper Sarkodie after the musician was seen smoking in a viral clip a few days ago. Wading into the discussion, Kwame Edinkra expressed disappointment in the rapper for displaying such conduct.
Naze ne ha me kakra Sarkodie Sarkodie adibia mehu bia no onum si there's a video mehu ni bia no kensak onum cigar and cigar no first na Hollywood movies no say just what tip say guitar ya man enfa nkona no because on fi say we influence e won kwada so and all that but say there kensak mehu ni bia no say cigar no banana we see kumon. I know say new fashion, say new vogue. I don't understand how many people will even know the difference between a cigar and a cigarette. Demonstration. Say unum cigar na and I just say
Ghanaian Kumawood actor Kweku Menu has expressed frustration amid the ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran. According to the Kumawood actor, who traveled to Dubai to purchase perfumes for his business, says he wished he had not made the trip.
So connect to Wi-Fi in there. Oh, cheap Wi-Fi. The two internet who come the message be a baby a bema kind. Now made it back could be so to so as well. Go to me say it up to say Dubai for the crew and Sane Kaka. Don't make your fancy. Say be a bear fine. Oh, be a bear fine. Be no maybe see. My ye young point. Be a massy, you know, must think. Almost send you banner. Me, Sama said you mean you bet 20 and more call. The crowd here. Master, when I said that, I said Zion, dear. Send me the back room. na Zion oye transit Zion oye.
And that'll be all for our news bulletin for tonight. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. 9 confirmed dead as illegal mining pit collapses in the Afro region. Also, Tama Oil Refinery resumes operations, says President John Dramani Mahama. On the international front, Nepal rivals rally on final day poll campaign as Prime Minister urges citizens to vote. And this is where we draw our curtains for tonight's news bulletin. Tonight's news bulletin was brought to you by Rema Austrian Agency, Celeste with Tom Brown, Sarah's Dream Jewelries, NAP Apartments Hotel, and KS Rafemix Company Limited. For more news updates, you can follow us on our social media handles at CSTV GH. My name is Bakas Mensah.